Agenda item.
Item number 3 is the Padovnik subdivision plan. The property is zoned rural residential. The current property is just under 18 acres. The applicant is seeking to subdivide them into 2 lots, one of roughly 10 acres, one of roughly 8 acres. One parcel will remain vacant. They're proposing to build a new single-family dwelling on one of the properties. This is a simple subdivision. At this time, we are just recommending that the application be accepted as complete.
Discussion. Okay, agenda item.
Item number 4 is the Havana Apartments sewage planning module. Council approved the land development and the conditional use for the Havana Apartments last week. This is the adaptive reuse of the old Holiday Park, Adelaide Stevens. Which one was it? Holiday Park School.
It was a bunch of things.
Yeah, actually, it had a couple names, yeah. So this is the sewage planning module for those. We recently, actually last month, we just did one, or maybe 2 months ago, for Patriot Estates as well. This is the resolution the council must adopt to amend the 537 plan, sewage treatment plan for the municipality to add the additional units for the sewage treatment at the new apartments.
Discussion.
Was there was this where didn't we talk about them maybe having to upgrade that at some point because of the age of it? Weren't we talking about something?
Yeah, as part of the land development, the municipal authority had talked about them replacing the line, and they are going to replace it in where it exists right now. There was talk about moving it out to the entrance, but the developer proposes to replace it exactly where it is right now.
Okay, yeah, I think it's good to get new, anyway, however they do it, so I'm for that.
Okay, agenda item.
Item number 5 is an executive session item to discuss a potential litigation. Item number 6 is a police officer cost of living adjustment, and included in your agenda packet is what is quickly becoming a monthly agenda item, cost of living adjustment for a retired police officer.
Discussion. Okay, agenda item.
Item number 7 is an executive session item to discuss a new hire. Item number 8 is the police civil service list. So the existing or the most recent civil service list expired on 9/27, just a few weeks ago, a week ago. We have, at this point, we have a minimum of 4 officers who have indicated they intend to retire in the next 12 to 16 months. Plus, we have a couple others in the next few months after that will be eligible to retire as well. So we are asking for council's instruction and authorization to establish a new police hiring list. So the motion for next week would simply be to instruct the staff to create a new hiring list.
Discussion. Okay, agenda item.
So that item would actually be 2. We're requesting 2 items for that. The second one is the police testing for the first-line supervisors and possibly even third-line supervisors. As you know, for promotion as well, we have to go through the civil service process to promote an officer from patrol to corporal or from corporal to sergeant and whatnot. So we are requesting authorization to do the testing as well, the promotional testing as well. So those would be 2 separate items.
Discussion. Okay.
Item number 9 is the proposed civil service regulation amendments. Last month, council authorized the advertisement of the amendments. A copy of the proposed amendments is included in your agenda packet. The proposed amendments themselves are identified in the document itself in red. So what is proposed to be deleted is crossed out. It's in Microsoft Word, so it's the Microsoft Word tracking function within the document that it doesn't eliminate the wording. It crosses through it, and then it types the new word underlined, so you can see what was proposed to be deleted and what is proposed to be changed to. But in general, the changes are: 1, adding the position of corporal. This will be a first-line supervisor position. Eliminating the position of detective lieutenant. We haven't utilized that position, and the detectives report to the assistant chief now. And at the time when we had the detective lieutenant's position, we didn't have the assistant chief position. and then modifying the job descriptions for all those new positions, so the corporal position, eliminating the detective position, and then some modifications to the job requirements, to the key functions of those jobs in the civil service regs. And again, there's nothing all that significant, but there are some minor changes that are operational for the most part. We also are proposing to increase the minimum written scores for promotional applicants. Right now, the minimum written scores for an introductory hire applicant is actually higher than the promotional scores. So we're just proposing that those two things should be the same. And then the other thing that we're proposing to change is to modify the weighted scoring. So every applicant, whether it's a promotional or if it's initial hire, they get a written score and an oral score. The oral score is the onboard exercise, the inbox exercise, if you will, where they are given some scenarios with a panel of chiefs and the chiefs rate them. We are suggesting that oral examination, that inbox exercise be given more weight than it's currently being given. Not more weight than the written score. Right now, the written score is 70% of your score, the oral is 30. We're proposing that it be 60-40. There are some other minor changes where we had to delete things. It doesn't, where it refers to things that no longer exist. Again, all of the proposed changes are included in the document. This has been advertised and would be appropriate to accept or to adopt the amendments next week.
Let me just ask one question. I like the fact that we're going to give more credence to the written, or to the oral part of the test, but what prompted this? Just everybody else feels the same way?
Well, we felt after discussing with the panel of chiefs and even the chiefs themselves, in this, all these chiefs, they all do this for one another, so they all sit on each other's panels every time they're hiring, and pretty much some police department in Western PA is hiring at any given time, so they're always doing this. And all the chiefs kind of collectively have been saying, not everybody's really good at taking, written tests, and so you have these people that do very, very, very well on the written test, not that great on the scenarios, on the actual things that are really gonna matter, and so that kind of impacts who your top candidates are. So they just think that there's more value in that oral examination process, in that inbox exercise process.
It makes sense. Okay.
Any more discussion? Okay, agenda item.
Item number 10 is the fireworks ordinance. So I just want to be clear, you don't have to do anything if you don't want to, but there is a new fireworks law in Pennsylvania. The changes aren't so much about what's legal and what's not legal from an actual firework perspective, although they did do a better job this time differentiating or defining what is consumer fireworks versus commercial fireworks. But what is legal under the term consumer fireworks is not within your purview to change. You can't decide that you want them allowed to have M80s but not bottle rockets. You can't do that. But what you can do now under this new law is you have three options. So option C, which is the easiest one, is do nothing and just continue to do what we're doing. Option A is to prohibit the use of consumer fireworks in Plum Boro. That is now an option in the law. Option B is to permit it, but require a permit for all consumer fireworks. So every time somebody wants to have their display on New Year's Eve or the 4th of July or Memorial Day, whatever it is, a gender reveal, anything that people want to have a firework, they'd have to come to us and get a permit for. And we'd be responsible for managing those permits. And then again, option C is just letting things lay as they are, which that is the recommendation of staff. We don't, unless council was really interested in prohibiting consumer fireworks.
No. Say leave it the way
I
it is.
support C.
Leave it the way it is.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Then it doesn't need to be an agenda item if there's no action to take. And you can always revisit this any month you want to, so it's.
That's ridiculous to have someone come in to get a permit for a few fireworks or something.
Well, a few I agree, but some people, they try and be, the Zambelli light. And it's not only,
Some-
I mean.
Some neighbors love them, some don't, and you're never gonna get
Exactly.
around
I'm not saying
that.
that they're not fun. Most of them are, but you always get the person that, I don't know how you, just let me stipulate, I don't know how we regulate this at all, But it just seems like some places are, you know, some people do too much.
Well, they're still gonna do
I
it.
get, I know,
There's-
I,
yeah,
that's
so-
right here.
And under the new law, the law does not allow us, the law just basically differentiates what are commercial fireworks and what are consumer fireworks. Within the consumer fireworks, there are those consumer fireworks that are permitted or legal to be used in Pennsylvania. And municipalities can't pick and choose within that menu.
Right.
So it wouldn't, so if it's the person that wants to shoot off one rocket for a gender reveal versus 100, you don't get to choose. As long as it's a consumer fireworks display, it doesn't matter the severity, duration, complexity, or anything like that.
But there is a time when they can shoot them off.
So, yeah, and so, and that's, I didn't want to, yeah, so the law has changed a little bit, like the timing, so the enforcement end on our end, especially on the police side, has changed a little bit. They've tightened that up. That's what I meant by they did a better job this time of defining the difference between consumer fireworks and the restrictions on the use of those. But again, that is what it is. You can't change any of those things. And they've gotten a little bit more restrictive. They've restricted the times, and I think I sent this to all of you guys. I believe I did. They've gotten more restrictive on the times when you can light off fireworks. So only for New Year's Day, 4th of July, Memorial Day, one other day, can you go beyond midnight, for example?
That was, the third one was on your birthday.
Yes.
Yeah.
April 1st.
That's for shooting rockets at his house.
Yes. That's just what my neighbors do all the time. But in any event, if there's no intention of doing anything different, then this does not need to be an agenda item.
Okay.
So are they required by, for commercial use, say when we do our, like the Zambelli comes out and does Plum Summerfest, we are required to obtain a permit, or they are?
They apply they apply for a permit through us, we issue it, yes. So
Yeah.
when Oklahoma Country Club does a fireworks permit, we issue that permit, yes.
Okay,
We still do we will always, the requirement for a commercial permit hasn't changed.
okay.
Item number 11 is a request for a Penndot traffic study. If you're familiar with the intersection of Old Leechburg and Sardis and/or Logan's Ferry Road, whichever one you want to call it, does everybody know the intersection I'm talking about?
They want a stop sign, Mike?
So the request was for a four-way stop sign. I will tell you a few things. First of all, this has been studied, and during my tenure here, this would be the fourth time we've studied this intersection. It has never met the warrants for a four-way stop sign. I don't believe, the site distance don't warrant it. I do understand why people believe that and want that, but at the end of the day, it's a Penndot decision. However, we did get the request. The last time it was requested and rejected was 2011. So we got the request through Representative DeLuca's office. Two separate residents contacted Representative DeLuca's office, who forwarded that request on to us. You guys know the process. If you want to have a traffic study, you have to instruct me to send a letter to PennDOT asking them to do the traffic study.
And what's the
these
cost of
cost
it?
approximately-
There's no cost to the borough for the study. However, if there are any recommendations that come out of that, like for example, if they say we have to add additional signage or do anything else, then that is the municipality's responsibility.
Would they make us do anything to the site distance, like clear a hillside or clear a hill? Like the worst case scenario, would have to put 2 more stop signs in? Would that be the worst case scenario?
I mean, I guess it would depend on how you define worst, but yeah. The
Okay.
most we'd have to
That
do
doesn't seem very bad.
was make it a four-way intersection.
How come I can remember a time when there was four-way stop
Well,
signs?
like if they make us read,
'Cause you're that old.
the site distance isn't enough, they make us cut a hill,
When I
cut a hill
used to
off.
drive a truck, you used to have to stop there.
You coming up Old
No, no,
Leechburg?
not.
I was gonna say like a roundabout or something, yeah.
Oh,
it's a consensus.
there you go, yeah.
Is the general consensus to do the study?
Well,
No? All right.
Mr. Mike told the engineer, said they could come back and say we need a turning lane.
It's one way or the other. It's either Leechburg, Old Leechburg has a stop sign. It should be four-way.
I was just because you can't.
Yeah. That's what I read the other day. I said, this should be
The site
four-way.
there is good. It's at the top of the hill, it's flat, it's not that bad. But anything's possible with PennDOT, but I really don't think it's likely.
And it's the intersection of 2 state roads. I don't see, even if they say put 2 stop signs, that's on PennDOT to do that. There's no local road issue here.
So let's do the study then.
Yeah, what can it hurt?
Do the study.
Okay. So this does not need to be an agenda item if you're just instructing me to have it.
I'd say let's,
Yeah,
what
send
the
a
heck,
letter.
let's
You
do
are
the
so
study.
instructed.
Item number 12 is a request for the police department for emergency equipment purchase. Last month or the month before, I can't remember, council authorized the sale of our Data Master. That was our, for lack of a better word, our breathalyzer. We sold that for $5,500. We also have some funds, considerable funds available in our drug seizure money through the district attorney's office. The chief is requesting authorization to use the $5,500 from the sale of the Data Master and another $1,000 from drug seizure money to spend $6,500 to make sure that all three supervisors' vehicles have emergency building entry equipment. So that's sledgehammers, bolt cutters, and the, you've seen the people using the big
Battering.
battering
Personal
rams that
battering
open the doors. Right now, we keep we have one set, and we keep them at the station. And so if we ever had to make entry to a house, someone would have to drive back to the station and get it. We have 3 zones in Plum. Each zone has a supervisor's vehicle that's assigned. The idea is we just have the equipment in each one of the supervisor's vehicles. That way they're on the road and wouldn't.
I'm surprised we don't have that already.
Good
Yeah.
move.
Yeah, yes,
Sounds good to me.
absolutely.
Go for it.
Item number 13 is a request from an individual to use, I believe, Borough Field number 4 for a cow patty bingo fundraiser. I just, without getting into my own personal opinion about this and my concerns about what could happen if it's in bad weather and the damage a cow might do to the field, because this is a ball field, even though it's the one that's least used, people still play on it, they still practice on
Isn't
it.
that the one that's grass now?
Yeah, but they still practice on it, they still use it, and so we have big ruts in the field from a cow walking through a wet field in October.
Is there
But
actually
how
gonna
much
be a
longer is
cow?
the season?
But
The season may be over.
Here's my other concern.
Season's over by then.
It is, I would highly recommend that you as a board, if you're gonna approve this, that you make sure that the rest of the PBSA supports this.
And who cleans it up?
Well, that's up to you
Well,
guys.
did he explain what it is actually?
It's a fundraiser.
Yeah, but does he actually, I mean, did he,
Do you know-
I know what cow patty is, but I'm saying, but I'm saying, is he, like, what's the,
How many cows are
You walk
involved?
a cow through the field,
I was at one in
you
Oakmont.
put a grid on the ground, you spray paint squares, everybody buys a square.
Then they pull a
And
card.
when the cow
Your
goes to the
tickets have
bathroom in
numbers.
that squid, that's a square, that's B4.
can't they do it in the parking lot? Instead of the
Maybe we
grass?
can get Mr. Nowak to walk around, so we make sure there's poop in the field.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why
I would say, let's reach out to Matt Walling and have him get a letter from PBSA saying it's okay.
okay with it,
And then
yeah.
we're okay with it.
Yeah.
And then they're responsible for cleaning it up, yeah.
I think the cow owner actually cleans it up. It's only one pile.
Really?
Once the cow goes, it's
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a 5-hour thing.
It's a
You just-
I know,
5-hour thing, so they
I was
wait-
at one in Oakmont last year, the cow never pooped. So they
Well,
had
you
to pull,
gotta
they pulled a
feed it
ticket.
laxatives or something, right?
No, it never relieved itself.
Cow laxatives.
So they literally, the ticket you buy for it, they just pull a number and call a number.
Now, what
Cracks
kind of,
me
where
up.
would we become that we're gonna stand there
It's
and
not really
watch
like
a
a
cow?
bingo, it's more like a Super Bowl poll.
Yeah, it's a block poll. It's a block.
Yeah.
Because if it's spelling like bingo, that'd be like, you need a lot of poop.
No,
Ugh.
yeah, you would if it was like,
Yeah, I agree with PBSA.
You should just do tic-tac-toe.
that would be longer.
So agenda item?
Yeah, if you
Yes.
have him get a letter from PBSA,
Why don't we get the letter first and put it on the agenda?
Well, you either have to do it tonight or not, because he's proposing to do it for the 22nd.
Well, we
Okay,
do it
so-
with those conditions.
He
then.
can,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
he can
fine.
call.
Yeah.
All right, agenda item.
That's
yeah,
enough
his
time.
phone numbers are, yeah, actually.
Item number 14 is a change order from Horizon. So it's a roughly $24,000 change order for additional equipment that's part of the broadcast system for the new borough building. The reason for that is twofold. First of all, a few months back when we started the design and preparing the specs for this, we had a individual that worked for us that had met with, that we had, I'm I'm trying to avoid saying something.
Yeah.
So we had someone that was working with us, working with the provider, the contractor in this case, Horizon, and that individual convinced Horizon that he had all this equipment that he would bring, that we didn't need all these things. He's not here anymore, and when
He can't
when
bring the equipment.
PJ and I met with Horizon, that's when we realized he hadn't spec'd out certain equipment that is necessary to do what we do.
Is this the guy that has the hearing problem now?
It is.
What's that?
So basically what we did is this. We've added the equipment that is necessary to do the broadcast the way we need to be able to do it. We did swap out, if you look in the change order, there's about a $10,000 deduct for cameras that he had spec'd out, which were auto zoom, autofocus cameras, which after discussing with both Mr. Roop and with the professional from Horizon, that's really not the best technology to go with in this setting. So all we did was we swapped out the auto zoom cameras for manual zoom cameras. So that's pretty much a wash. However, there were no monitors spec'd out for the AV room itself and for the viewing of the actual production, like that one, for example. So we had to add in additional monitors, and I've never had to ask the cameraman to jump in before, but there's additional technology that we've added in this too, just because it doesn't make sense to add it down the road, correct?
Right, so we added, what we have back there is still standard definition, like old school broadcast switchers, and so now with the new high definition cameras, we have a high definition switcher that will communicate more effectively with the electronics, whatever the new electronics box is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we just basically upgraded a lot of what was in that room.
And I think we've all known that thing needed upgrading for a while now,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we're just doing it now.
right.
Great.
Let me ask one thing though. Okay, you got 8,000 and 6,000. That's 14 by my count. How do we get to 24?
The proposals, if you go to it, the proposals in the,
Yeah, I'm sorry, the total, it's in the agenda packet, if you look in the agenda
Okay, I
packet.
don't have that up here. I'm looking at the thing you put out today.
Horizon change order, yeah, I mean, I'd have to go through it, Dave. I was just trying
Okay.
to,
It's
to-
back upable by looking at the
if you
total.
go, I mean, you can go do the math. There's a bunch of deducts on there that we took out and a bunch of adds,
Okay.
but essentially the adds, is what I'm getting at,
It's
is
under,
the
Right.
additional technology that we added and the additional labor to
Under
install it.
Financial,
But every one of those things there you can look at. The cameras were, like I said, were a wash. And then
Here it
there's,
is.
Yeah, you got it.
it's under your agenda tab.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
it's in
Sorry.
the wrong spot here.
And I was trying to condense this down to make the conversation a little bit
Okay,
more
Yeah, it's just
reader-friendly,
under 24.
user-friendly, but you certainly.
but we don't want to keep the crowd waiting.
Yes.
Okay. Stand at him.
It's fine.
Sorry, you're waiting for me?
I was. Item number 15 is the Holiday Park Phase 3 GEDTF. That's the Economic Development and Tourism Fund. Staff is proposing to put together an application for that fund for $300,000 for a project on, at the intersection of Holiday Park and Abers Creek Road. It's about the replacement of about 300 linear feet of pipe or culvert under Holiday Park Drive. Most of you in driving in that area wouldn't even know that it was there, but there's a pipe as you come down Abers Creek heading towards 286. It's actually on your right-hand side. The culvert's right there. It actually, for some reason, crosses across Holiday Park Drive and then goes for 200 feet or so and then crosses back again. Nobody seems to know why. So we would fix that design flaw to begin with. But this is what we've been calling Phase 3 of Holiday Park, the last phase of the major projects that we wanted to get done in Holiday Park. We did apply for a grant for this before from a different program. It was denied, although we did get Phase 1 and Phase 2 funded. And when I say we, I mean Dave and his group. They've been really good at doing this. And by the way, they've gotten well over $1 million in grants over the last few years alone, just on these programs. So I think they've been doing a fantastic
Good
job.
job, Dave. Good job.
So this would just be a resolution to authorize the grant, the application for the tourism fund.
Mike, will we be using our guys, our in-house guys?
No, this would be a contract project.
It's probably big pipe, right?
You know, I can't remember what size it is. I know when you look at the culvert when you go in there, it's not a 16-inch pipe.
Yeah.
Okay, agenda item.
All right, and finally, the staff is recommending that council consider vacating Plum Alley. Plum Alley is a paper street over, near the Turnpike Bridge there, Unity Center Road. So the road was never formally adopted or dedicated to the borough nor formally adopted. It is some combination of dirt, compacted dirt, stone, and paving. The borough has, over the years, done various things. They've patched potholes on it, they've repaired it, but not always. And they don't always, and we have not consistently plowed it either. There's one house on this road. This residence has access to an actual borough street, paved borough street that we do maintain. Staff is just suggesting that, we should abandon that alley. And I believe that this was discussed with the Public
Public
Works
Works,
Committee
yeah.
recently, and that was the recommendation of the committee.
Right.
Any
Sounds good to
discussion?
me.
So be it.
Okay, we'll make that an agenda item. All right, we're at the end of our agenda.
Mr. President, I'm not going to be here next Wednesday. I have 7 whereas proclamations. Could you do them for me, please?
No.
No, the people are coming.
I thought you were making a joke.
It should take about 4 minutes per.
I will be happy to, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Get up on your.
I thought you were
Whereas
pulling my leg.
I
vocabulary.
am.
Put it off till
Oh, goodness. All right.
for the next month.
Any public comment? Are you sure? All right, we are adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yep.
That was a long one.